Today we are going to explain you what is a process paragraph and how to do one. Well, first, a process paragraph is when you explain how to do something. Like for example, when you explain how to ensemble a bicycle step by step, or a receipt is another clear example. Also, a process paragraph is when you explain how something happens. Like for example, how a glacier moves. Well, you use a process to talk about the steps and events, because it is a group of sentences that tells this sequence step by step.
Okay, a process paragraph consists of a series of connected steps. The steps must be logical and are often chronological in order. You can use time words and transition expression to make the sequence of events or activities clear. Process writing is especially important when you want to explain the steps necessary to do something or complete a task.
Well, you are probably familiar with a common kind of process writing, that is a receipt, as I said before. For the result to be a success, a receipt must be clear, in the correct order, and concise.
Okay, also we can use it in academic settings. Process writing is commonly used in science classes or lab, or in some occasion information, technological courses, or in many other disciplines. Okay, we are going to show you an example of process paragraph. Hello everyone! Today we are going to prepare homemade rice. First of all, we need some ingredients. 2 cups of water,
A pound of rice,
a pinch of salt,
some oil,
and the most important,
the rice cooker. Now you have to follow some steps to prepare the rice.
first have 2 cups of water. 1 and 2.
Next, add the rice.
After that, you need a pinch of salt for flavor.
Then comes the oil.
It makes the rice a little bit soft. Finally, stir all the ingredients and cook.
Don't forget that while the rice is being cooked, the lever has to be down. And when the rice is ready, it comes up.
Okay, we need to wait some minutes for the rice.
Oh, the rice is done! Now you just have to enjoy this delicious rice.
Thank you for watching.
Transition expressions. In process writing, transition words and expressions are needed specifically to make the steps in the process clear. These transition expressions help the ideas or steps in the process flow from one to the next so that the reader can follow them logically and easily. Without the appropriate transitions expressions, the paragraph is just a list of steps. The most common transition expressions are first, next, then, and finally. First, its function is signal the first step. First can come at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of a sentence. Punctuation note: when first comes at the beginning of a sentence, it is followed by a comma, but when it is in the middle or at the end, no comma is necessary. Next, its function is signals the step after the previous step or action. Next can comes at the beginning or at the end of a sentence. Punctuation note: when next comes at the beginning, it is followed by a comma. Then, its function is signal the step after the previous step or action. The most common position for them is at the beginning. Punctuation note: no comma is necessary with them. Finally, it signals the last step in the process or action. It is used at the beginning of a sentence so to signal the last or final step of a process. Finally, can appear in the middle and at the end of a sentence. In these cases, it means at least and does not signal the last step in a process. Punctuation note: when finally comes at the beginning, it is followed by a comma.
Before write this kind of paragraph, you should take into account this writing process. First, you have to make a pre-writing. In this part, you have to think what write about. Next comes planning. In this part, you have to think in the chronological steps. For example, what do you have to do first? Then comes first draft. Here, you start to write the process paragraph. If it's necessary, make a second draft to correct and reinforce your ideas. Finally comes editing. In that part, you have to focus in the grammar, punctuation, and the transitional words. The final draft is the last part, where you have ready and correctly your process paragraph to be read for someone else.
Yeah. We are going to explain an example of the process paragraph. In that case, the example is how to make a telephone call. In that case, with the title, you can infer with this expression how to make. You have to follow some steps in the paragraph. Okay, this is the topic sentence. The topic sentence is, in this case, it is easy to make a telephone call if you follow this simple direction. This indicates that you need to follow some steps to make a telephone call.
Well, after the topic sentence comes the first step. Let's start reading. To make the call, first you just must know the telephone number you are dialing. Well, as you can see here, first is the transitional word to express that this is the first step. It is not followed by a comma because it is in the middle of the sentence. Well, you just must to take into account that in the process paragraph you don't write supporting sentences, you just write steps that are going to be followed.
Okay, after that comes the second step. In that case, it is followed by another transitional word. In that case, is next, and the example is next. Pick up the phone and listen for the dial tone. Take in mind that before and after this transitional word next, there are some steps.
Well, now comes the third step that is followed by this transitional word, that is then. Of course, then is followed by a comma because it is at the beginning of the sentence. So let's start reading. Then you can start dialing the telephone number. If the person answers the phone, begin speaking. If an answering machine clicks on, wait for the beep and record your message. As you can see here, it is a complete step. So for this reason, we don't need to use another transitional word between these other sentences. Because when you say if the person answers, or when you say if an answering machine, what are you saying is that they are two options of the first step.
Okay, this is the concluding sentence. The concluding sentence is indicated with another transitional word. In that case, is finally. And the concluding sentence is finally hang up the phone when you have finished your call. And take in mind that this concluding sentence is not related with the topic sentence, and it doesn't matter because in this kind of paragraph you don't need to summarize the topic sentence in the concluding sentence.
All night, all day, all night, all day, all night, all day, all night, all day.